Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for everything Atheist Sunday and school, and boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering James, chapters 1 through 2. And for some reason, it's JAS?
Yes.
Why? Why is it not JAM?
I don't know. This is just how it's abbreviated, like, all the time. I was going to put in jam, but...
because you're a reasonable person.
Right, but then every commentary that I looked at was like, JAS, James, and I'm like,
how?
Why?
Where's the... What?
And the thing is that I don't know that because we haven't encountered any references to James at any point.
Yeah, I don't know why we would. It's very short.
So it's short.
It's short.
It apparently doesn't say much of value.
Well, the thing is, so it doesn't tell us much about much.
Is this like much to do about nothing?
Yes.
All right.
So the essential purpose of James is like, here are some moral imperatives or admonitions, and that's it. In fact, it has so little to do with like anything that's going on in the historical world, anything that can tell us any substance, that the author of this book says that it's where was it? Oh, this entire document lacks continuity and thought. That's what he said.
What book are you talking about? See, I have the King James Version of the Bible.
I have the English Standard Version of the Bible. It's over here.
Yeah, I also have the Jewish Annotated New Testament and the NIV Study Bible.
We have Erdman's commentary on the Bible. We have from the New Interpreter's Bible, the New Testament Survey. We have the Greek New Testament, the textual guide to the Greek New Testament. We have the book, the commentary from Hermenia, of course.
We also have Josephus's complete writings, the Septuagint if we need it.
Yeah, so the one by Hermenia is, of course, on James from Martin Debellius, who I think wrote like a very critical study on Acts. Like I think he did like one of the first big studies on Luke Acts, or is it just Acts? I forget. But either way, like he did like some monumental work on it.
Look, I got something to tell you here, Lawrence. Did you know that it's generally agreed that this work is attributed to James, the brother of Jesus?
I did know that. It is generally attributed to that guy.
Yes, the only James who could be identified purely by the description in 1:1.
Yeah.
Probably from sometime in the 40s until his martyrdom in 62. James occupied a position of unique importance in the early Christian movement as head of the Mother Church in Jerusalem, which contained authority throughout the Christian world. Whether the letter is an authentic work of James or not, attributed to, or only attributed to him, has been much debated. Strongly in favor of the former is the plausibility of the epistolatory situation specified in 1:1, which we'll get to. But if James writes from the authoritative center of the Christian movement to Jewish Christians throughout the diaspora, then he writes in a Jewish tradition of such letters from the center, Jerusalem temple authorities or Pharisaic leaders, to the diaspora, of which several have survived. All we know of the place of Jerusalem and of James in the Jewish Christian movement makes it entirely plausible that this letter is an encyclical from the head of the Mother Church to all Jewish Christian communities. There must have been such communities in many parts of the diaspora from a very early date, before Christians from Jerusalem began to take their message elsewhere, as in Acts 11:19, because large numbers of Jews from all over the known world were constantly visiting Jerusalem for the festivals. See, for reference, Acts 2:5-11, and then returned home to their home countries. Many must have heard the Christian message from the preaching of the Jerusalem church leaders in the temple. James's letter may therefore be of a very early date. that it is oblivious of the issues concerning Gentile Christians and the law which Paul's Gentile mission raised may indicate that it was written before such matters were controversial.
So, yeah, of course, that is, of course, the traditional idea about James being the author here, because there are, references to Jesus' family, for example. There are references to this James outside of the New Testament even. But let's see. Yeah, both within the writings of the New Testament and elsewhere, there are a number of reports about James, the brother of the Lord. To be sure, the riddles they pose are nearly as many as the data they report. James and his brothers and sisters, he goes over all the mentioning of his family. And yet not only are these brothers and their mother included with the disciples in Acts 1:14 as believers in Christ, but from Galatians 2, Acts 12:7, and a number of other verses, it becomes evident that James was one of the persons of authority in the Jerusalem church. Nothing is known about the time and circumstance of James' conversion. However, in 1 Corinthians 15:7, Paul intimates that in appearance of Christ played a role in the life of James. The Gospel of the Hebrews, fragments of which are cited by Jerome, contain a description of this Christophany, but this is the first time that we find a legendary modification of the tradition about James, whereas Paul mentions this as the fourth appearance of Christ in the Gospel of the Hebrews. James is apparently the first, or at least the most important witness of the resurrection. According to the Gospel of the Hebrews, after the Lord's Supper in which he participated, James had sworn to abstain from all nourishment until he should see the resurrected Jesus. Now the Lord appears to him and personally offers him bread. So that it was one conversion story, of course, later about James. And yeah, of course, you noted that James was martyred. And one of the things about the genre that we're talking about here, or maybe perhaps we should finish talking about the author here. Essentially, what we do know is that the author here is actually probably writing with at least the knowledge of Paul's writings. In fact, he might even be in opposition to these. So Bart Ehrman, in Forgery and Counterforgery, he points out a few places where it seems like he's essentially not quoting him, but he's utilizing catchwords a lot. He's essentially referencing stuff that Paul had previously talked about. And he uses like almost exactly the same language in many cases. So if we go to James 2:21, let's compare it with Romans 4:2. So this is in Greek here, but the similar words that are used are ex ergon edikaiote. So that's the phrase that's used there. And in James, and both sentences reference Abraham as well. So there's the close textual link, of course, and then it goes on further, right? Like there's James 2:24 and Galatians 2:16 and Romans 3:28, which probably share dependence. The parallels among the passages, much noted for centuries, are striking still today. All of them contain a verb of knowing, an indefinite person, the verb justified in the passive voice, and the antithetical contrast of works and faith. So it is interesting that that we have a very close textual connection with these works. So that has led some people to think of it as or I guess in Bart Ehrman's words, as a counter forgery. So it's specifically written to counter somebody else. In this case, it would be Paul. So
it appears to be responding to Paul's views, particularly regarding the relationship of faith and works.
Yep. Yeah. So,
but it says here that the excellent Greek of the text leads many scholars to doubt the traditional attribution. They argue that it would be unlikely that a rural Galilean would be capable of such expression. What do you think of that, Lawrence?
Of which expression of the good Greek?
Yes, the excellent Greek.
I mean, it's pretty good Greek. Yeah, I would say.
Is this like blowing your mind? Like excellent writing? Like, wow.
I mean, no, like Hebrews had very good Greek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Greek speakers. Well, of course, not everyone had the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's all Greek speak to me.
It would be, yes.
Speaking of Hebrews,
I can tell which languages are which sometimes.
You know,
just by how they sound.
the 7 letters following Hebrews, James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1, 2, and 3 John, and Jude, have often been designated as the general letters. The term goes back to the early church history historian Eusebius, who in his ecclesiastical history first referred to these 7 letters as Catholic letters, using the word Catholic to mean universal. The letters...
Man, don't you just love that?
The letters...
It's okay, guys. Catholic means universal.
Right. Which means that they have a
but-
universal claim to this earth.
Yeah.
Right?
What are universalists then? I'm so confused.
Not universal enough.
They're Catholics, right? They're ex-Catholics.
They're just
right?
Catholic.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, the letters so designated may be said to be, for the most part, addressed for general audiences rather than to specific persons or localized groups. 2nd and 3rd John, the 2 letters that seem most obviously addressed to individuals, have long been viewed as appendages of 1st John, which is...
Lawrence,
Yes?
could you get that string off his shoulder?
There's a string. Oh, there is. See, I was going to help you.
Could have just told me.
I was going to help you.
Nah, it was
'Cause-
too hard to see from
Because
your angle.
I'm being
No,
a good
it wasn't.
friend and helping you with the string.
Okay.
I accept bits of string, Lawrence. Hold on to that.
Well, 2nd and 3rd John, the 2 letters that seem most clearly, obviously addressed to individuals, have long been viewed as appendages of 1st John, which is clearly general in its address. However, when compared with Paul's letters, all these letters, except for 3rd John, are clearly general in nature. By contrast, Paul addresses his letters to such recipients as the saints at Philippi, the churches of Galatia, or Timothy, or Titus. As Eusebius noted long ago, one interesting fact connected with the general letters is that most of them were at one time among the disputed books of the New Testament. James, 2nd Peter, 2nd John, 3rd John, and Jude were all questioned extensively before being admitted to the canon of Scripture. And it says here that
That was...
what was that?
That was...
What?
See, the thing is, my body has made those those sounds, but I have never heard your body make those
That was interesting.
noises.
Is that the click?
I breathed through my nose, and it was like,
Oh, that was okay. That was you breathing.
Your nose.
yeah,
Oh.
that was me.
Okay.
Just, like,
I thought that was
breathing
like your digestive system or something.
Are you dying? Don't die.
I don't know if they could
Apparently,
hear that.
everyone likes that. A bunch of heart popped up and smiley faces. Yeah, that. There. See?
What is that?
I don't know. It's scaring me.
Get rid of it.
What?
Remove
I
it.
can't.
First of all, I don't know how that works. Like, is it just like anyone clicks on it and then we see like hearts or whatever?
I can click on
Yeah.
it.
Well, sure. Yeah, of course. Like, of course you can click on it. Yeah. So I have no idea.
Oh man.
Yeah.
There's a bunch. Okay. Yeah.
Just hold on. Keep
Okay,
click.
I can do that.
Everybody,
Yeah, look, it's
keep
me.
clicking on the things. I wonder if this counts as engagement.
Yeah, it's
may- it
engagement.
might.
I'm
Does
engaging.
every heart click count as engagement?
I'm not
Guys,
sure.
Does anyone have an auto clicker? I'll use mine if not.
Yeah, it's permanent. Why are there first? Before I get
No limits.
to Tomer's question, there was someone asking earlier if we've ruled out any god at all. No, there could possibly be a god, but that doesn't. Just because something's a possibility doesn't mean that we have to accept that. Like that's it. And
yeah,
then,
like there could possibly be like the cure to all diseases underneath a homeless guy's mattress
Possibly.
that he has in the alleyway.
Yeah, possibly.
But that doesn't mean when he tells you, come down this alleyway, I've got something I want to show you.
Right, that you should.
You should go down that alleyway.
Yeah, and then the other question that he asked was if there's a call-in number. This is not a call-in show.
No,
Yeah.
we're not Matt Dillahunt
If you
here.
knew
We're
my
not.
number, you could call me. I don't get a signal down here though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tony was asking why was there John first, second, and third John. So John would be, of course, the Gospel of John, and then the letter, the Johannine epistles, or something else. They'd be written instead of being like more of like a narrative, like John is, like the Gospel of John is, I should say. They are letters written to specific people, or from a specific community. So the purpose is entirely different, and they probably circulated together is what I think for a time. But they were, so the Gospel of John was written by one person, and then the Johannine epistles were written by another person. I think altogether it's really hard to say because one of them is like 8 sentences, so it's really hard to determine authorship for that based on like anything tangible. So we'd have to like be like, okay, fine, church fathers, how long have you guys had these things together? Like,
You gotta take their word on.
sometimes you just can't do much. There's not
tired
much
of
substance.
everything being an honor system.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Yeah. So it's really wish we had more, but it's very, very short. So you can't get much from it. And then Revelation, that's written by a different John altogether.
Yeah.
John of Patmos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different John.
Yeah.
But about James here, although its formal canonization was relatively late, there are signs that James was.
Oh, my autoclicker's on.
What the hell is that noise? Oh, dear God.
What is this horrible Morse code?
His auto clicker. Oh, you clicked the stupid thing
I don't
where.
know how to turn it off now. It's not turning off easily.
Okay. Hopefully we're still here.
yeah,
Oh,
we
you're
didn't
still
crash?
here.
yeah. Chris broke his computer
Somehow,
by
yeah.
trying to click the thing a million times
Dear God. Okay.
at light speed.
Yeah,
I
essentially.
don't think it's trying to click.
It is trying to click.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
clicking.
All right. Well.
Dear God. You deleted a message too.
Oh wow! I apologize to whoever got pinned and whoever got.
What is happening? Okay, so
I can't even like.
So Chris has
Stream
this.
is fine, but I'm gonna like unplug and replug my mouse in and stuff.
That's a good idea.
I don't know if that helps.
Is the auto clicker in the mouse?
No, it's not, it's through my keyboard.
How did you turn it on?
Press the G1 function.
Do it
Nobody knows
again.
what that is. I know.
I have no idea what's happening in chat. Really, the only other person who can control any of this is probably April. Like,
My bad.
So-
I deleted Nightbot's message.
you
It's
deleted
fine.
Nightbot's message. Okay.
You know, nobody needs to hear that.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
continue while I figure this out. Thank you. I'll just end up unplugging my keyboard in the back.
okay. That's probably a good idea. Yeah. Good auto clicker.
Overpowered.
Yeah. Holy shit. That was intense. At least from our side. Like, you guys probably didn't see much, but
Yeah,
like,
no.
yeah, the window started shifting because his mouse is like it's just clicking now automatically for like a while, and it started making noises. That was
It was setting off a bomb, basically.
kinda, yeah, it did. You're right. It did sound like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So a few things on the authorship from James.
Hold on,
here.
I was talking
Oh, yeah,
about
sorry, go ahead.
this. So, although its formal canonization was relatively late, there are signs that James is used by some writings, e.g., First Clement and the Shepherd of Hermas, before the middle of the 2nd century CE, largely through the enthusiastic endorsement of Origen.
Wait, we're frozen?
We're frozen?
Oh, the video frame is frozen because but you guys hear us though. Do you hear us?
Why is the video frame frozen?
Because I don't know, because I guess you were doing some shit.
Jesus Christ.
Chris, you messed up.
I messed up big. I don't even know how to fix this now because none of these
You
functions
destroyed
are.
the stream.
Okay, so you guys hear us, but you can't. Okay, I see. All right. So,
What I need to do this without using my mouse.
right. So essentially, Chris's
I want to see.
the auto clicker has I don't know if it's what's the word I'm looking for.
Now all
If the RAM was just I don't know if it's a RAM issue or if it's something else, but that is hilarious though that you guys that it fucked with the computer so much that it stopped the video, but
oh, that's so weird.
it continued the
Still
audio.
probably doing its thing. I can't even fucking fix this.
Offering
right
salvation. Thank you. Is that what I'm doing?
yeah, you're stuck like this.
That's amazing. Okay. I like that interpretation.
Wow.
If faith comes by hearing, so no need to get the video back.
now. Christ.
Man, that is wild. So what I'm wondering is, see, isn't it a good thing that I chose only 2 chapters today?
Jesus, yes. I don't even know how I'm going to end this stream.
Oh, that's right, because the
I have to
moment you
click.
click end stream,
It'll start the stream
it's going to
again.
start the stream again.
Yeah. I can close OBS.
Oh, that would be
Inelegant.
that would be how to end stream, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just stops. Boy, this is gonna be awkward. Okay.
I want to turn off.
I don't know.
Why don't you just turn it off the way you turned it on?
I have pushed the G1 button 50 times. Do you know what a G1 button is even? It's like F, but you programmed it yourself.
Why did you program it so poorly?
Well, he wanted an auto clicker, and it was very
It really
good
does
at clicking.
work quite well as an auto clicker.
As you can see, it's a very good auto clicker. In fact, that's all it did for a
Determinedly
bit.
good.
You can't turn it off.
I've been trying.
Got to order some more memory.
This computer sucks. I have a much better computer upstairs now. It's still going.
Yeah, it's not gonna stop.
You sure?
Yeah, that's really unfortunate that it's doing that.
I'm pretty sure. Anyways, we were talking about James.
Yeah, let's so while that maybe gets figured out, I don't know what Chris is going to do about it, but we can continue talking, that's for sure. What happens if I click this? Well, the thing is, once the auto clicker was clicked, it is continuously clicking, but Chris's mouse is also still moving because he's trying to do something. And man, you guys should see our screen. Holy shit. What is that? Is that Steam?
It's Corsair. I need it.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to fix the problem.
Okay, gotcha. I thought you were opening up Steam by accident or something.
No, there's no accident here. I'm actually trying to go to Corsair.
Okay.
It's still
boy.
going. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. What I needed to do
All right.
is to get to this thing and turn off this
Oh,
macro.
that's smart. Yeah.
I can do that.
He
I
has
can
to.
delete the macro. No. Say I'm done. Say I'm done. Done. Delete. Okay.
You good?
Okay.
I might have to implement it. I don't know. Is there? It might not.
Oh.
It's moving easy. I did
Okay.
it. I did
You
it.
did it.
I did
Ah.
it.
Go.
Oh my god.
We just we had to do surgery on.
I had to do this manually. I opened like 20 pictures.
But just close them on the bottom bar.
I got them.
Oh, okay.
Did
Okay.
it. Now maybe our picture could come back.
I don't know. So how is it showing up on the OBS?
OBS is frozen too.
OBS is frozen.
No, like the image isn't moving. That's all.
Yeah. That's right. Okay. So
so-
you did fix the problem. Very well done.
I can even make it say, look. You can even see the text change. I think.
Really?
Well, if it gets there, hold on. See?
Oh wow. Okay. So
So something's up there.
Okay. So it's literally just the.
Switch
Image
to a different
capture
camera.
device.
Will that do
I
anything?
can't.
I don't think it
switch
will.
To a different camera, so it's actually the input probably got all jarred.
Yeah, that would make sense.
How did you do that?
Because I unplugged the keyboard and mouse in the back. Maybe I unplugged something else.
No, I
know.
don't think you did. I think it froze before that. It froze while you
was
were initially.
auto-clicking?
Yeah, while it was auto clicking. Yeah.
Well, the problem I'm going to have here is, and this is a very scary problem. If I mess with image video capture device, the whole computer could crash.
Right. Yeah. So I guess we're just gonna be frozen. I don't know.
I could restart the board. That did nothing.
Oh, restarting the video board?
Yeah, just turning it off did nothing. You still have you. Look, this is what it is. I turned the board off.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you turned off the video board and then you turned it back on.
Well, I'm turning it on now.
Okay.
Give it 10 seconds.
Maybe it'll reset. Yeah. Okay. Well, either way, we can. I think you were reading through some stuff, Ruben.
Yeah, was I? Was I even?
Man, what a rough day.
Largely through the enthusiastic endorsement of Origen, it became part of the church's collection, first in the East and by the end of the 4th century in the West. Martin Luther's distaste for James is well known, but it was not widely shared by other reformers. Luther considered that James 2:24, you see that a person is justified by works and not by faith alone, contradicted Paul's teaching on righteousness in Galatians 2:16. A person is justified not by the works of the law, but through faith in Jesus Christ. Luther's view dominated much of the scholarly approach to the letter until very recently. Most readers through the ages, however, reached a position like that of patristic interpreters and the opposite of Luther's. James and Paul do not contradict each other because they are not addressing the same point. 2, when read on its own terms, James is a powerful witness to both the diversity in early Christianity and the moral imperative of Christian identity in every age. So that's what they have to say.
Yeah, I got
talk
one
about the composition, but you can talk about the composition.
Yeah, when it comes to religious ideas that are in this, so you're talking about, your there's no proper theology, but there are certainly some religious traditions that kind of flow into the interpretation. But one last note about the authorship here. So yes, probably not written by James, the brother of Jesus, and there's a good argument here for why. Yeah, of course, it claims to be written by James, the brother of Jesus, but in light of the observations which were made at the beginning of this section, it is hardly credible that an obscure man by the name of James wrote the document, but also the hypothesis that James 1:1 is a later addition, a hypothesis which, because of its very nature, can never be completely refuted, must be considered incapable of proof and for that reason improbable. The document's late appearance in the canon leads von Harnack to assume that the text must have existed for some time without the name of James attached to it. But the silence of the church fathers can be interpreted differently, and the eclecticism of the author, which is likewise stressed by von Harnack, is capable of a much better explanation. And what leads Johannes Weiss to separate the prescript from the rest of the letter is only the difficulty which these words offer for the interpreter. But against this must be noticed the fact that the play on words, kaire and karan, so greeting and joy, binds 1:1 to 1:2 very firmly, and that the author employs such rhetorical devices elsewhere. Moreover, whoever around 200 AD would have made his paranetic, which is the kind of text that we're looking at. It's the kind of, here's an admonition, here's another admonition. This is right,